Hello everyone, welcome back to another video in our SFDR series. Today we speak about the question whether in the first place it makes sense to use any Article 8 or 9 label for any funds. Well, that very much depends. In the first place, it's of course always the investors that have the expectation whether or not a certain fund will be an Article 8 or 9 fund. Especially fiduciary investors such as pension funds or insurance companies, they also have their beneficiaries behind them, and they might have their own legal obligations that are setting out a minimum standard of ESG to comply with in their investment policies. So that is the most crucial factor to be considered. In the second place, it very much depends upon what kind of fund you have and in what phase you currently are. For certain type of funds, such as open-end funds that are disciplined by a redemption mechanism, it might make a whole lot sense to classify your fund to the highest ESG standards as are possible. For illiquid funds, it can be very much different, especially now with the short compliance time that managers still have until the 10th of March 2021. It does not always make sense to label a fund as an Article 8 or an Article 9 product. So when does it make sense and when doesn't it make sense? Well, especially if you're still in the setting up phase, in the pre-commitment period, discussing with investors, discussing with cornerstone investors, then it makes sense to consider this to a large extent. But if you have already done all of your closing rounds, or you're very far in your commitment period, or even in your post-commitment period, then it may not make any sense to label currently your fund as an Article 8 or an Article 9 fund, but you might want to label it as an Article 6 fund. And then depending upon what policies and procedures you have already in place, you might want on a comply and explain basis, explain your investors that you apply ESG criteria, but not the ones on the European level, given the time in the life cycle of the fund that you're currently in. And that is especially then the case, of course, for all kinds of illiquid funds such as private equity funds, debt funds, or infrastructure funds. Having said this, thanks for watching and hope to see you next time. Bye.